Alright, what's going on, guys? Trey back again here to bring another video. This one's going to be talking about UFC 148, so it's going to be July 7th, so a couple weeks from now. And, of course, it's going to feature probably the biggest match all year, maybe in the last couple years. Anderson Silva versus Chael Sonnen. I apologize for my eyes. My allergies are killing me right now, really messed up, but I decided to do this video anyway since it's kind of exciting news. And it's really, really, just cool stuff. So they had a conference call, and Anderson Silva kind of lost it a bit. He said some things. I'll read off to you what he said. He said, first of all, Chael is a criminal. He said this angrily as well. And then he said he doesn't deserve to be inside the Octagon, and when the time comes, I'm going to break his face and every one of his teeth in his mouth. Oh, man. Right now, playtime is over. I'm going to beat Chael like he's never been beaten before. I'm going to beat him maybe the way his parents should have beaten him to teach him some manners. This joke is over. I know he's on the line listening. I'm going to beat his ass out of the UFC. He's never going to want to fight again after I'm done with him. Oh, man. Crazy. That he wants to say afterwards that he thinks he's going to break, or Chael afterwards says he thinks he's going to break my face. Tell him I've got 2 words for him: medium rare. I don't know. I don't get that. But anyway, Chael's a little wacky like that. But it looks like now here's the thing: is this legit or is this manufactured? So by that I mean, for a layman, is Anderson Silva saying this because he actually feels this way, or is he saying this because he is being told to by Ed Soares or Dana White or one of these types of people, just to sort of amp up the fight and and make it get even more attention around the fight that there's already going to be, and there already will be tons of attention, especially in Brazil and stuff. It'll be just a ginormous fight, but this should add on to the fire. So. Is this legit or is this manufactured? I don't know. I'd like to hear what you guys think. Do you think that Anderson Silva is saying this because he actually feels that way, or do you think that he's saying this because he's told to? Me personally, my opinion is I believe what Chael does and what Chael says, his strategy, okay, is not 100% authentic. I think a lot of what Chael says and does is manufactured because I think Chael knows that if he talks up enough, it will help him out career-wise, to get bigger fights and to get the attention of people and to get people to buy and all that kind of stuff. And he does it sort of as a strategy to be a good employee and be good to the UFC and at the same time, make a lot of money and all that kind of stuff. And so far it's worked 100% because he's a wrestler, and he is an exciting fighter. I'm not going to say he's not an exciting fighter, but at the same time, when a lot of your fights go to decisions, that's a fighter that's not as exciting as a fighter that can finish every fight. So I almost want to say that with Chael Sonnen, a lot of what he does is manufactured, trying to get under guys' skin, doing all this kind of stuff. It is manufactured. It's not 100% real, I think. That's my opinion. Now, he is wacky. Don't get me wrong. Chael's wacky. Chael is zany. He says ridiculous things, but me personally, just from following the sport, all the interviews I've seen and everything, I personally feel like he does it because he feels that that's part of the job that probably a lot of fighters forget about. That's part of the business that a lot of fighters should work on more, and they don't, and if they were to do that, probably would do better. One example I'll give you is Matt Mitrione, Meathead. On The Ultimate Fighter, he lost his mind, started shouting and screaming at people and just went crazy. And after that, he actually lost. He didn't win The Ultimate Fighter. Is that true? Yeah, he didn't win The Ultimate Fighter. No, yeah, he didn't win that season. But yet, he made a name for himself because he spoke out, he went crazy, he had that big tirade and all that stuff, which at first maybe got him a little bit of hot water, but afterwards sort of, popularized him to the point where the UFC called him and had him come in and fight. And if he had not have done that, he'd have just lost and got off the show. I don't know necessarily if he would be in the UFC in the state he is now. Maybe he would have, maybe not. But what I'm saying is that there are a lot of different dynamics to being a fighter and promoting fights that a lot of fighters try to ignore and act like they don't exist. Well, whether you ignore it or not doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It just means you're not willing to play the game or you are willing to play the game, one or the other. So if you are the type of person that you want to act like the business side of it. I just want to fight. I don't want to worry about the business side of it and about promoting and all that stuff and talking smack and all that. I just want to fight and be really respectful and all that. Okay, cool. But I don't have anything against the guys that really want to try to hype up fights and amp people for fights and do that kind of stuff either, because I understand that business-wise, those guys are smarter because they realize that that's what people want to see. Now that Anderson Silva has said this, I bet you this will be, a way bigger fight than if he was just being quiet, respectful, martial artist going in and doing his thing. Because now that people hear him saying stuff like this, it's probably going to sell, it was already going to sell great anyway, but I think you get that little boost. You might get a 10, 20%, 30% boost where a lot of people will be like, oh, whatever, don't worry about it. When Anderson Silva says something like that, people are going to pay attention. My favorite part, everything says, I'm going to break his face and break every one of his teeth in his mouth. Wow. Yeah. First of all, Chael is a criminal. So, it's just great. I love it. I think it's awesome. And again, in terms of how big is this fight going to be, this will be the biggest fight in at least this year, maybe in the last couple of years. This is a huge fight. So, obviously this could only add fuel to the fire. Now, my opinion is, as I was talking about earlier, is Anderson Silva being truthful here? Does he actually feel this way? Or is he just trying to create hype and play the game, so to speak, and is it manufactured? My opinion is that it is not manufactured. I actually think that what Chael's doing is manufactured, but what Anderson's doing is actually legit. Like, I feel like he actually feels that way about Chael because of all the things Chael's been saying about him over the years. I mean, he hates him. He hates his guts, because if you guys haven't seen a lot of stuff on YouTube, you can find a lot of clips on YouTube about different stuff that, Chael will say to Anderson. And even, like, I saw one on YouTube, it was a couple years ago, before their first fight. And Anderson walked out, and I forget who he beat, or maybe it was after his first fight. I forget who he beat exactly, but he's walking out the hallway, and like a mob of people just swarm Anderson. They want autographs. So he's signing all their autographs, yada, yada, whatever. Then you see Chael walk out, and nobody wants his autograph. Nobody even, notices him or mentions him. He heckles Anderson. He starts yelling at him from the other side of the hallway. And he says something like, sign them all, buddy, because pretty soon, they won't want you to sign any of them, or something like that. And, just things like that. Like, Anderson is, very stoic. He's that kind of guy where he doesn't, unless he's in a fight, and like against Damian Maia, and he's trying to amp the other guy up. You know what I mean? To make a mistake. He's trying to make him angry, which he was doing against Damian because, he wanted Damian to come in so he could knock him out, use his counter-striking and all that kind of stuff, which didn't work. But outside of the cage, Anderson, unless he's using a strategy, is pretty stoic. He's pretty respectful. He doesn't really, he doesn't talk too much. What he does say is, he respects everyone, that kind of stuff. But I think when it comes to Chael Sonnen actually has gotten under his skin. And I think this is legit. I think what he's saying, he actually means it. And I think he actually does hate Chael. I don't think he's acting this way or saying this kind of stuff because, to hype the fight. I actually think he really does mean it. I actually think he really does want to do it. Anyway, so that's it for this video, guys. Oh, actually, by the way, this card is freaking awesome. So there's that fight. There's also Griffin versus Ortiz, Kung Lee versus Patrick Cote, and Damian Maia is fighting Kim. Who's that? 1 second. Let me see. Yeah, Dong Young Kim. So a lot of big names of the fight are on the card. Should be a great night of fights, but obviously we're all excited to see what will happen in the main event. I've done a video prediction for that. If you want to go to my channel, you'll be able to find it. I've done it a couple times. At this point, though, one other thing I wanted to mention, too, that I almost forgot, is that if Anderson Silva really is mad, and it seems like he really is to me, that may work to a disadvantage. Because sometimes in a fight, if you get really, really angry and emotional, that can cause you to lose focus. That can cause you to burn out faster. There's a lot of things that can happen. See, a lot of people, when they fight and stuff, they just get really angry and they start throwing. The thing about it is if you're not thinking and you're just using your emotions, and you're really angry, you're furious, a lot of times you can gas yourself out. You can make bad decisions, especially when you got like Anderson, who's a stand-up fighter, against a wrestler. If Anderson comes in and he's not very disciplined with what he does, he lets his anger take control and just wants to smash him, it could work against him and he could get taken down. You know, he could be too aggressive and end up getting taken down, that kind of stuff, instead of sticking to a strategy. But I think that Anderson, obviously being one of the greatest in the history of the sport, is, even though he's angry, I think he'll still be able to handle it very well. I don't think that it's really going to affect him because, I mean, being that he's such a great mixed martial artist, I'm sure he knows what I just mentioned. But I do think that, you know, subconsciously, the amount that he hates Chael could potentially work to Chael's advantage, or maybe disadvantage, because maybe if, you know, Anderson's so pissed off, when he starts to land it on Chael, you know, and he really starts to unload on him, he may not stop until the referee pulls him off, or, you know, he may intentionally, you know, hit him. I don't know, like you said, break his face. Maybe he'll intentionally try to, you know, break an orbital bone or teeth, or, you know, stuff like that. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. In terms of who I think is going to take this, I don't know. This is a really tough one to call. I think I'm picking Anderson, but I don't know. I think it's honestly probably like a 55-45 for Anderson. Let me know what you guys think about the fight. Very exciting time for MMA right now. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. See you in the next one later. Peace.